When we think about women's rights, we imagine a history of suffrage movements and protests. But what if we were to tell you that the fight for women's equality is still not over? Despite the great strides women have made for gender equality, there is still one major aspect that falls short of them being equal, and that is how much they are paid versus men. In 1963, the U.S. passed the Equal Pay Act, protecting employees from wage discrimination based on their gender. Although this was a step in the right direction, there was still a presence of wage gap. With the passing of the Civil Rights Act, Pregnancy Discrimination Act, FMLA, and the more recent Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, the pay gap has narrowed but still exists. Recently, we have seen headlines in the news about gender pay differences among athletes and the differences in how they are treated. Here you can see the astonishing difference between men's and women's basketball team and the amenities they received during 2021's March Madness tournament. Let's review. Women are doing the same job with the same education, but are getting paid less. The most recent Gender Pay Gap report of 2020 reported data showing women making 81 cents to every dollar a man makes. Persistent earning inequality for working women translates into lower pay, less income for families, and higher rates of poverty across the United States. What's worse is this report shows women of color experiencing an even wider pay gap. And if you think women can close the gap by becoming more educated, think again. Studies show women are paid less than what similarly educated men earn at every level of education. And surprisingly, the wage gap tends to rise as education level. So what are some things you can do as an individual to help bridge the gap? You could reach out to your congressional representatives, join movements such as the He for She, an organization that aims to accelerate women's economic empowerment, break through the societal norms and stereotypes by the way we treat working women, and encourage them to consider STEM-related or traditionally male-dominated careers. On an even bigger level, companies should also be involved in the solution, creating apprenticeship programs, investing in software tools to help identify pay gaps, offering training and education to employees to educate them on the need for diversity, and adopting policies that focus on creating inclusivity and equitably hiring and training practices. Why is it important to fight for these changes? Because equal pay promotes a more diverse workforce. It increases morale, which has an effect on productivity and problem-solving abilities in the workplace. It would lessen the strain on public welfare system. Equal pay also influences the economy, because statistically, women spend and purchase more than men. In conclusion, the fight for women's pay equity is far-reaching, which means that this is not just a problem for women, it's a problem for everyone. We can all play a role in the solution and end the unethical practice of the gender wage gap.